More, I'm now joined by Jewish Institute for National Security of America senior fellow John Hanna, who served as a national security advisor to Vice President Dick Cheney. Good morning to you, sir. I mean, what do you make of the fact that a military advisor to Iran's supreme leader, just spoke to Robert, saying that the Strait is not just leverage for them, it's a vital national interest. And also the fact it sounds like they do believe they will be charging tolls throughout that corridor.
Yeah, there's no question. Razai is a former commander of the IRGC, a well-known hardliner, been around a very long time. And clearly the Iranians are trying to maximize the gains they feel they've won from this war and to really assert themselves as the dominant power in the Persian Gulf that'll have real leverage and control over not only all the traffic going in and out of the Gulf, but over particularly its neighbors, those Arab Gulf states who are so utterly dependent on imports and exports through the Gulf for their economic lifeblood. So I'm not surprised by this. The Iranians are worried about this Omani channel that would go through Oman's waters on the Straits of Hormuz. If that succeeds, as it has been the last several days, I do think the Iranians see their leverage in these negotiations decreasing. I think Secretary Rubio's meeting with the GCC was very important yesterday because all of those states, together with the United States, strongly expressed their position that what the Iranians are now attempting to do to maintain this control over the Gulf for the IRGC is just not going to fly with them. And I think we ought to double down on that kind of international pressure. I think you might even be able to get Iran's friend, the Chinese, who have a deep interest in the freedom of navigation in the Gulf, to go along with us.
Talk to me, John, a little bit more just about that doubling down, what you want to see, because we also have this new breaking and developing news that the IRGC just struck this Singapore flagship through the Strait. How should the United States respond to that, and how big of a setback is that for us in negotiations?
Clearly, it's something that's, doesn't help the negotiations going forward. But my sense of this is one issue. Now that the guns have fallen silent in the Gulf, there are almost no countries anywhere around the world who believe that Iran ought to be able to charge tolls or fees, or that the IRGC Navy ought to have the whip hand in determining who can enter in and out of an international waterway that's so important to the global economy. So I would, as the United States, double down on what Secretary Rubio did yesterday with the 6 GCC states, internationalize this issue, get the Europeans, the Asians, including the Chinese, who all have a stake in freedom of navigation and getting resources out of the Gulf at no additional charge or transaction costs. I think we can really isolate and build leverage on this if we're patient and if we do the necessary diplomatic spade work here and really hold firm on this issue.
Yeah, we'll watch to see what happens over the course of this weekend. And also Secretary Rubio saying the next round of technical talks over the nuclear portion of all this will resume next week in Switzerland once again. A lot on the line here. John Hanna, thank you for helping us try to make sense of it and your deep analysis, sir. Always appreciate you.
Thanks, Marky.
I'll see you again soon.